Just wanna feel purple yellow.
Welcome to the 10th episode of the Purple, Yellow, Red and Blue podcast, a Portugal The Man podcast. Each podcast I'm joined by a guest to talk about everything going on with Portugal The Man, news, some social media bits, got a couple of topics, a couple of announcements, a couple of things, some things that have happened. Chris Black Changed My Life has been out for a little over a month now, maybe a little bit longer, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth. You can find this podcast, past and future episodes, up on YouTube, Google, Spotify. I finally figured out the audio versions, so they're up there as well. So I know some people would prefer to listen, on the go. You can do that if you want to do that. And if you're listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, leave a like. It helps the algorithm find us. So when people search for Feel It Still, I'm on the sidebar, about 10 videos down. Hopefully one day. You never know. We dream. My name's Mark, and my guest joining me today is
Chris, once again, back with Mark, the man of the year.
It was a short. Not many people were in the running then for this man of the year, were they? Was it just me?
To be determined.
To be determined. How you doing, Chris, on this fine Monday evening, Monday afternoon, as we have it?
Yeah, I'm great. It's about 1 p.m. here in the Portland area, and it's a beautiful day. It's not too hot, not too cold, a little overcast. I'm feeling good. How about you? How are you feeling? How's it going?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's the summer in the UK, which means it's like 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't. No, it's been pretty miserable weather recently, but we'll get through it. We'll get this heat wave going. It's been good. It's been a good time. Just dealing with some family issues and bits and pieces on the side, and just trying to get through work, trying to get through our struggling economy. But apart from that, having fun, just trying to keep your head up. Yeah. I actually got to meet. I mentioned this before we started recording, but I actually got to meet Evan, who I've had on previously on the podcast, who's in the Discord community, the Reddit community. He goes by Hasmond, if you're not familiar. And it was really cool to meet another fan, because I'd never have, in person, a proper fan. Living in England, it's, there are far and few between, probably, or we all just hide. But no, it was really cool. He came over for a couple of weeks, and we got to hang out, and we had a fun day. We went to we went to a pub, Sherlock Holmes one, actually, in London. That was fun. That was very on brand for one half Brit and one Brit. So that was good to catch up with him, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I've wanted to meet Evan for a long time, and him and I have conversed privately and publicly over the Reddit, and he's bought some merch from me, and I've bought some stuff from him, and all around good guy. Oh, I was gonna say, it seems like it'd be a good time.
Yeah, he was super chill.
So I'm hanging out with him.
Yeah. We just went out drinking mainly, to be honest. So it was good fun. Yeah. He's super athletic as well. He was saying, "Oh yeah, I do this sport and I do this sport and I do this sport." And I'm like, I sit down. I used to do sports. Oh, not anymore. He's super athletic. No, it was awesome. Top bloke, actually. Yeah.
That's great. I'm glad you got to meet him and spend some time with him. I know of one or two other people in your part of the world that are pretty big fans. There's this gal that's been involved in the Reddit for a very long time. I won't say her name in case she doesn't want me to, but I could send you info privately if you're close to London, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
She just flew out for the Hollywood Bowl show last night.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm
She
very
was
jealous.
there,
All
so
these people going to shows. Like, I can't really
you'll
afford
get them
it.
soon. You'll get them soon. I'm feeling very confident.
Oh, all right, okay. I'll be.
Yeah.
As long as not pre-show, John comes out and he's like, "We need someone to wear the Tankdog suit." Oh, you could do it. You've been slagging us up, yeah. And I'll be like, "Oh, brilliant." I'm there with like some friends. They're like, "We're expecting VIP, and you're hearing a dog costume in the crowd." I'm like, "Yeah, don't." I've said it now. It's gonna happen now. Bloody hell. But anyway, yeah. How you doing? Have you managed to catch any of the shows this post Chris Black Changed My Life tour?
Yeah, like 4 so
You've been to
far,
4 shows.
I think.
Wow,
Yeah.
4 shows. Bloody hell.
Yeah, first was the Portland Mercado show, which was really cool. I believe that was the first show after the record came out. I could be mistaken though. And that was a lot of fun. They did a full set just kind of on a street corner at this like food cart pod on this tiny little stage.
I remember seeing a video of that. Yes, that did look like fun. That did look like fun.
Yes,
yeah.
that was. Yeah, I was running around with a camcorder, just doing some bootleg video, whatever, and
Nice.
Francis got on stage. That was cool. There was a whole Portland kind of Portugal the Man takeover that day. They had a whole bunch of stuff going on, so that was fun. Next show after that was, I believe, the Wonder Ballroom, which is about an 800 cap indoor venue here in Portland, so a smaller room. And they played a very long set, about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh,
That
wow.
show, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I bet there were
Yeah, that was a really
after
good
that.
time.
Yeah. That was good. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that, and then the following day was the Edgefield show. For me, a phenomenal time. I very much enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed the show. The band played well, and the set list was really cool, and a lot of friends were around, made a lot of new friends, met a lot of people from the online community, which was
Yeah.
which is always nice. I always love putting faces to names.
Names to faces.
And then-
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes, names to
Is it that? Yeah.
I don't know. Other side of the ocean, vice versa.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later was Red Rocks, which was whew, that was
A doozy.
that was an experience. Yeah, for sure.
Good show then. Nice.
Yeah, great show. A lot of people came from all over the place for that show, and we had a little Reddit meetup.
I saw.
Yeah. Yeah, probably about 20, 25 Reddit people. We wrangled up John and Zach, and they came out, took some photos, met some people, signed records, did that whole thing. And yeah, it was a really good time. So just those 4 shows, and there's a few more upcoming in the near future here in the Portland area that I'll be attending as well. Yeah.
I did see that the nice group picture you all took together, the big like Reddit community. A couple of faces I'd recognised as well. That was cool to see.
Yeah.
Good time, yeah. Do you want to shout anyone out that was there? Anyone that people might know or anything? Or
Off the top of my head, Optimistic Jesus was there. Really nice guy. I believe 3J3. I could be mistaken. If you weren't there, I'm sorry. I was in a headspace. Trying to think. I just don't remember everybody's usernames. I know their names in person. There was this. I actually ran into this woman that was there for the Reddit meetup, and we actually met at a Portugal The Man show
okay.
that I snuck into like 6 years ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, and there was like it was like a radio daytime thing, but they did like a photo op after with the band,
Oh,
and
okay.
it had to be kind of a quick thing, but I was in this photo with this woman, and I just recognized her, and it was really fun to catch up. So
Oh,
it was
nice.
good to see
That
her.
wasn't
And
Amy, was it?
no, Amy. Well, I actually met Amy at Red Rocks for the first time, and she's a sweetheart. So nice, so kind. She's kind of like, I feel like she's like the mom of the Discord in a way.
Yeah.
Which is great.
She's a mum though as well. to be fair.
Yes, yeah, she is actually a mother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I met her as well, and that was really nice. You know, to everybody else, I'm sorry if I forgot. There was a lot happening that day. So
Awesome. No, it
yeah,
was good to see. Good fun. It's not it's great that we can like intermingle, because at the same time I remember I was catching up with Evan. Everyone was doing that. It kind of felt like it was a, you know, everyone was sort of intertwined. Everyone was meeting that. It was, you know, it's good to see. You know, we're all friendly on it. You know, it's a pretty chill Discord. It's a pretty nice community, I'd say we've got. There's no dickheads in here, if pardon my French. So yeah, no, awesome. It's
yeah,
good to have.
yeah, yeah. It's great.
Awesome. Should we get into? I've got some warm up topics before we get into more the meat and potatoes of what we're gonna catch up with, really. Yeah. So first thing I jump in with was Evil Friends 10th year anniversary. Uh,
Evil Friends 10th year anniversary, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Go ahead.
crazy to think. Yeah, it's been time of recording. Probably about a month since it released, because they did a re-release of the album, didn't they? I know you were involved heavily
Correct.
as well.
I was actually not involved in that re-release. I was told that it was going to be happening before
Oh,
it was
you got the early deets.
announced.
Okay.
Yeah. I in conversation with Rich about some other things. He just gave me a heads up that it was going to be happening, just because I had asked. So yeah, I picked up a copy of that, and it's a bit surreal. It's kind of
Yeah. 10 years.
strange for me especially. I mean, in my experience, the first time I saw the band play was at there's a little park near the waterfront just outside of Portland, and they had played like a charity concert for the Humane Society for animals and whatnot. And I went and I was like, oh well, that's cool. And you know, a couple days later was the last show of the Evil Friends tour here in Portland at the Crystal Ballroom, and I bought a ticket on StubHub and I went, and it's just, I don't know.
Had a
It's
great
strange
time.
that all started like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started really getting involved. Well, I was a fan basically from In the Mountain in the Cloud, but really Evil Friends as well. I was like, okay, you know, I'm bored, I'm enjoying. Okay, who's this band? I know a little bit more about them, and I went back to the backlog after that, the back discography of that, and really they went up another gear with Evil Friends, and it's good that they get to, you know, celebrate it with the 10th year anniversary. You know, they can look back and go, man, that was 10 years ago. That's incredible. So much success came with that album, and you know, to a point where they didn't have to release an album every single year. They could be like, okay, we're gonna chill. We're gonna do quality. I should say quality over quantity at that point, because before then it was basically an album or an EP every year. So from that point onward, a little bit more freedom, which is good for the band, because Woodstock and now Chris Black Changed My Life kind of feels more. No, I don't know the way to put it, but those are two albums. They've got a lot more identity to them. They've had time to think about it, which is good, which I like. So kudos to them, and this is a good way to re-release. You know, it's sad it's right around the same time as the Chris Black Changed My Life came out, but it can't help that they released two summer albums in the last 10 years. What can you do? But yeah, this is good. It's there's a vinyl edition, isn't there? There's like a CD edition. Some extra goodies in there as well. I can't quite remember everything packed in there, but if you're a fan, it was worth getting. I know Was there a limited release deluxe edition or something as well? Am I forgetting?
Of Evil Friends or
Yeah.
Chris Black Changed My Life?
Evil Friends. Or was that just a vinyl?
Evil Friends, I believe, was just a standard release. I can pull it up right now, though. I'm a bit
Professional
curious.
podcast right now. Professional.
Yeah, very professional podcast.
Check
Yes,
this.
we're all very professional. Just a moment. Yeah, there was not a box set or any kind of thing like that for Evil Friends. It's just the vinyl, the CD, and I don't think they ever made tapes of that record.
All right.
I think tapes were really in the main viewing point for a lot of bands at the time.
Yeah, that's right. They did the tape as well. So yeah, they released Evil Friends' 10th year anniversary, which I believe you can still purchase now. It's still available along with the original CD if you find it on eBay or something like that, which is probably where I got mine. No, I bought mine brand new in a shop called HMV, which is like our God, I can't think of the comparison, but like it sells like CDs and DVDs, and they do vinyls now, obviously, and then it's more like music merch and stuff like that because not as many people buy the physical editions anymore. But that's where I got mine from, and still got it to this day. So, Evil Friends,
nice.
10 yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the reissue? Do you have the new copy?
I don't actually. You know, I'm gonna hold my hands up. I'm kind of an all digital guy in the last maybe 5 years. I've kind of moved away from the physical medium. Maybe just because I used to buy so many DVDs, so many CDs, and they just pile up and up and up after a while. When you know what it's like, you buy a film or something, you'd watch it once and you put it down, you'd never watch it again. It just sits there, you know. And I know, like with the CD, you can put it in the car and everything, but all the entire library, anything I want to listen is on the phone, unfortunately. I know it's a lazy way of, maybe not the best quality, but on the go, it's so good. And yeah, but I might get like an unboxed version or like a boxed version, not open it and try and maybe get him to sign it potentially. I think that'd be a good idea. I'd like to do that actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's my plan. I'll go to actually.
And I don't think there's any problem with being all digital. You can still find high quality audio if you wanted to seek it out in a digital format.
Yeah, it's called is it FLAC file? That's like a high quality MP3 audio only file. Or am I don't know if I'm making that up.
No, there's a few different formats. Not to go too deep into it, but there's FLAC and there's WAV files and so many others. But those are the two most common.
Okay. I know a little bit about this. Obviously, we're trying to get the audio versions for this podcast online. For some reason, the recording software I was using was out of date. Or the editing software wasn't the most up to date. So I couldn't make the files MP3. I couldn't make them FLAC. Weird. I couldn't make them anything. So it literally would not allow me to. And to be honest, fair play to Evan. He gave me a kick up the arse. He said, "You should do these. You should get round to them because I want to listen to the 3-hour discussion on Chris Black changed my life on the flight home." And I was like, "You're mad. Why would you want to do that?" But yeah, no, that was a good.
Why not?
That was a good discussion with Josh. It was we just kind of hit a groove, and to be honest, I got up and I was like, "Shit, we've been recording for 3.5 hours by the end of it." Like edited it down a little bit, but that was a good discussion. It needed to happen. I thought I'd do something big for the album release, but
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, Evil Friends 10th anniversary. Buy it now. Use it. Seal it if you like me. If you want. Yeah. Next up.
Side note. Side note. There's another anniversary though.
Oh.
It's technically the band's 20th anniversary way. Yes, in that the first Anatomy of a Ghost record came out in 2003.
Has it really been 20 years? Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is, I mean, Waiter's coming up to 20 years. It won't be long. I mean, we're halfway through 2023, so it's only 2.5 years away.
That's
from that.
pretty crazy.
And yeah, anatomy before that. Yeah, that's 20 years.
Yeah.
They've been active.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
No, definitely. Yeah, I kind of forgot that they were anatomy for several years before, and yeah, man, they've been going a long time. Credit where credit is due. You know, they finally have some major mainstream success. You know, as I was listening to one of the Radio City musical stream that Josh actually sent to me. He recorded illegally, quotations. And there's like a Paul Williams, he does a little intro bit at the beginning, so kind of where Beavis and Butthead would be. Paul's talking to the crowd, or like a recording of him.
Yeah, that intro sequence with Paul Williams is pretty funny. It's the one where he's telling people, like, sit down, get in close. I know we all smell, like that kind of thing, just kind of joking around.
That's it. There is more than one song. Please stay for the rest.
Yes.
Yeah. They might play it twice. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Next topic. Got a little announcement for the YouTubes. We've actually been discussing this, me and you, in the DMs a little bit, and with some other people, but I've got a little mini-series I want to try on the YouTube channel. I think it might be a good time to announce it as well on the podcast, because we're kind of working it out at the moment, and I kind of feel like if I pull my finger out, more can happen in this space. But Portugal the Man Jeopardy coming soon. You may remember. Yeah, we can. I'd clap, but yeah, thank you. It would ruin the mic. Yeah, it's just something I watched some other podcasts, some other YouTube channels, and I had this idea, and I got talking with Evan, who during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, he did like a quiz. He did like a group, like a quiz night for everyone. Something like that. I don't know if you were involved in that at all, Chris.
Yeah, we did it, I believe, via Telegram. I could be mistaken. We were all talking. There was a large group of us talking during the start of lockdown, COVID situation, that we just conversed daily because we had nothing else to do, and Evan decided to do either one or two trivia nights and get a bunch of people involved from all over the world and gave out prizes, and did a really good job. So I very much look forward to follow-up improvements from Mark here.
Well, we'll put a little spin on it, of course. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Jeopardy, it's a game show in America. Essentially, you have 2 rounds, a bunch of questions. There are like 6. I'm gonna have 6 topics in the first round, 6 topics in the second round. Final Jeopardy question, double points, that sort of thing. Portugal the Man questions. Yeah, I'm actually, I don't know if I should say, I'm actually going to take part. I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to let Evan come up with the questions, because I ask a lot of questions on this podcast, and I feel like it's about time I get tested. So the baton is in his hands, but it's going to come up on the channel. It's going to be a nice little group effort. It's because he's pinned to me like, oh, I'm going to ask you questions next time, and I'm like, okay, raise my hands. All right, bring them on. I'd say I'm pretty knowledgeable. So if it goes well, we'll turn it into a nice little mini-series. We'll have like a little, I'd like to get a couple out. Yeah, something that will be coming soon. We'll see how long it takes me to get it to work. But yeah, it should be fun. And it's probably going to be like an hour-long sort of video thing. We'll get the feature, we'll get the, the interface, so people can sort of join along at home. But, if we're quicker than you at home, sorry. But yeah, that... yeah, Jeopardy, what do you... I know I've already mentioned that you could probably be a guest on there. Is there anyone that you want to shout out and say, or not shout out, but like call out, say like your knowledge needs to be put to the test?
Ooh, let's go right here. All right, I've got this. Kevin, in California, also known as the Rotten 42. He was on the old boards. He was on the street team. He is an old school fan, and if there are any questions that he doesn't know the answer to, I will be so disappointed in him. Who else? Yeah, calling you out, bud. We have Audrey. We have Jason. Jason is Mouse Fangs, or Mouse Fang, as some people in the Reddit will know, who's been around for a long time. And then I'm also going to call out the other two main Reddit mods, and that's going to be Ralph, who is Love Me or Rage Me. And I'm also going to call out Zach, who is Port EXE. So let's go.
Call them out.
Bring it on.
So could you come to the front of the class? Yeah. No, this is good. Well, it'll be a fun time. I reckon I'm probably going to get rinsed now. Sounds like I'm going to be going up against the moderators, who are here for one reason, that they're highly knowledgeable and have been here a long time. But no, I fancy my chances. I think there'll be some. I've got some. I'm going to give him some. I'm going to give Evan some like topic ideas. So he can obviously form it however he wants. But yeah, that'll be coming soon. I just thought I'd like drop this in the ocean. I think it'd be fun. Maybe get a little bit of artwork to go along with it, beside it. Yeah, be a nice little thing to go alongside the podcast, because post Chris Black there are things to talk about, but just something a little different. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, I'm excited. We can all maybe I can talk with some of those people that I called out and get some prizes involved, some merch, something like this, something like that.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, see how it goes. By the way, if you are the original creator of Jeopardy, this is our. Please don't sue us. Okay, I'll probably just get that out there. Yeah.
It's a Jeopardy-like game.
It's Jeopardy with a GJ.
Yes.
JG for John Gawley.
Yes.
Ooh, I just thought of that on the spot. Right. We're doing it. Print it. Awesome. Charlie Day featuring with Portugal the Man. Who could see this coming? Not me. But I don't know if you've
Charlie Day.
The man, the myth.
That man is a legend.
He is. If you're a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you'll probably already know. One of the stars of the show, featuring at a recent show at the Hollywood Bowl. Potentially more shows as well. I don't know, maybe just that one. That's where this viral clip has come from. Charlie. He's playing the keys with the band on the song Dayman, which is the Nightman Cometh, aka Dayman, which is the Always Sunny kind of intro or something, as far as I'm aware. You probably know more about this than me, Chris. Go on. Do you want
to... Charlie Day. Yeah. So for those that may not know, I'm sure most people do, the band had covered... the band has been a fan of It's Always Sunny for a very long time. And they've had that connection there. If you had never seen the Eternal High Five video, just look up Portugal the Man, Eternal High Five. It is worth the 5 minutes.
That is a throwback. I know exactly what you mean.
That is a throwback. I figure most people know, but some may not. Anyway, with that connection, the band, quite a few years now, has covered this song that Mark mentioned called Dayman. It's from the Nightman Cometh episode of It's Always Sunny, and also worth a watch if you've never watched It's Always Sunny. That is an excellent introduction and really sets the bar for the whole show. And I don't know, they've done it on and off for a few years, and it kind of disappeared from some sets and reappeared here and there, and I had a sneaking suspicion that it would happen at the Hollywood Bowl show last night, based in conversations I've had with John. He did not say that outright, but again, I had my suspicions and it panned out. So that was really cool. Watching the video last night, I was very bummed I wasn't at the show. I just had some work conflicts, and I decided to not buy a plane ticket, and then I ended up not having to work. So I was just at home.
You've been to 4 shows. I mean, Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but the Hollywood Bowl, like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
So,
giant rainbow stadium, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm
absolutely.
familiar.
But seeing Charlie Day close out the show, I thought maybe that was going to be in the middle of the set or right before the encore, but that was as I'm told, that was their last song for the night. And Charlie he went like balls to the wall. He went all out. It was great.
Mm. Yeah, it's cool to see it actually. It's just, I mean, they've got so many like friends who are well known who are like, yeah, well, come on tour or come on the show. I know Ben Stiller's also another big fan as well. So, and he's been on percussion before. He's jammed with the band before. We're just, we're getting the TV and movies Portugal the Man fantasy band put together basically, and yeah, that's kind of what's going on. But no, that's pretty cool to see. And yeah, they've been playing Dayman kind of on and off for about 10 years, I'd say actually. It's kind of since that High Five video. I know the one you mean. Pretty cool to see, to be honest. Yeah, he did a good job. Just mixing it up a little bit in their 2 hour plus shows that they seem to be doing every night or every other night, which they're just going ham at the moment. It's just off the wall. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts about Charlie Day performing with the band?
I just had a pretty severe case of FOMO last night. I was a bit bummed that I wasn't there.
No.
I really wanted to see that. And Weird Al. Weird Al Yankovic was there. I don't believe he was on stage. I'm unsure, but I saw a video. Jeff Basker was there, which is awesome. That man is just so talented. Amongst a lot of other people. So I'm really happy for the people that were there, got to experience that and see that show, especially the ones that flew in from or traveled a long distance to be there.
Yeah, they're getting the crew together. They're getting all the special guests on tour. That's
Yeah,
it's pretty cool if you ask me. Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if they'll do any more cameos like this on the tour. What do we think?
I don't know.
Chris? What are you thinking? High or low? What do we reckon? We're getting Paul Williams and when they're in his town or whatever. I'm not even
Well,
sure
I will.
what it is.
Well, Paul Williams was at the Hollywood Bowl last night.
He was as well. Everyone was there.
Yes, he was there. He was also at the Red Rock show, which was pretty cool. I walked around a corner and lo and behold, Paul Williams was standing right there. That was pretty rad.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool thing. I
Were
don't know, for these other shows, I'm not sure. I mean, they're friends with a lot of other musicians and a lot of people, and when you're at a festival and some of these other people are playing, anything could happen. So I don't really know. I hope there are more cameos, but these 4 shows were kind of separate from the tour in a way. They I think they called them like very special shows or like I love you shows, that kind of thing. It's Edgefield, Red Rocks, Radio City, and Hollywood Bowl. So maybe that sort of thing was reserved for those 4 evenings, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see.
Again, when we're just listing of people coming to their shows, it's an ensemble performance. It's quite incredible, really. The kind of stage presence they have, the people they've got coming on at the moment. I mean, they are going for it with these, as you called them.
I think I saw, like I love you shows, or just very special, that sort of thing.
The major key mark, once in a lifetime kind of venues, which they've played before. I'm pretty sure. I would have thought so, but on the tour, they wanted to hit it. But they're doing a lot of shows now. I thought it might be like 5 or 6 shows for the end of the year, but no, they seem to be. They're doing a lot of like pop-up shows and other ones. Like you mentioned, like the one on the east side by the Mercado. That was like the day after it came out. The album came out, and they're just performing actually on the day, I think. So they have been pretty busy. They have been non-stop, and when they've not been doing that, they've pretty much been sleeping, or John's been running, apparently. So this is a nice little tangent. I love to run, apparently.
John has always been a runner.
Yes, I envy that. I wish I could do a bit more running myself. Yeah.
Apart from those 4 shows, there's some festival dates. They announced that Canada tour, which I think is 6 or 7 shows. Pretty cool. I'm excited for the Canadian fan base to be able to, see these new songs be played live and have that experience. And apart from that, there's some more small shows happening in Portland. That have been.
Oh, you know about some undercover secrets?
Yes.
Oh.
Some of them have been very quickly announced here and there and just kind of brought up. There's stuff on the back burner, that kind of thing. So they at that Mercado show they said throughout the summer, we'll be doing a lot of this. So just kind of keep an eye out, a lot of pop-up here and there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, awesome. It's the more people that get to see them, the better. As I keep saying week on week, every time I do one of these, the more people get to see them, the more. I wonder next year. I think we'll transition this topic into another one I had loosely. Was talking about the live shows, which we kind of talked about. I mean, you mentioned earlier you've been to see 4 shows. What do you think? I know they've got a bunch more. You mentioned Canada and stuff. What do you think in Europe next year? South America? What's
I hope they can make it. I hope they can make it to the UK and Europe soon.
I would funny that.
It would be awesome. I know a lot of people have been heaving for those UK shows, of which I would love to make it to just anywhere in the UK. I've always wanted to visit, and I think that would be an excellent excuse to get myself out there.
Yeah, to be fair, when we had one of the Q&As, which I think it was last September. Actually, it was almost a year ago now, and I was actually on it. You were hosting, very excellently, I should add. And
thank you.
No problem. John did explain to me why they hadn't done more shows in the UK, and plus the pandemic, but they hadn't been over in a couple of years. And obviously now we know everything about his jaw and family issues with Francis and everything. I completely get wanting to stay close to home, do what's best for the family. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And he explained, he said, okay, we're going to go out and tour. We're going to go and do a show. We've got a noise band playing in front of us. No disrespect to them, but the fuck? What's going on? And, I've been to a few where I'm like, who's this? What is this? But a couple have been, it's been about 50-50. So I get that, and I've only seen shows in London or around. So for context as well.
I think a good quick thing to mention about that as well is I can't speak for them specifically, for Portugal The Man specifically, but I know a lot of artists have been having a tough time touring. A really good example of that would be. A lot of artists have had a tough time touring coming out of COVID, due to health restrictions, and folks have started families, but also economic issues. And a great example of that is Santa Gold. Announced a tour and then canceled it afterward and said, I can't do this morally. I can't charge this much money for you guys to come see my shows. And the reason we're charging so much money is because, petrol, gas is so expensive. And when you're a larger touring act with a production, you have to pay for semi-trucks to move your stuff around. You have to pay for a bus to get your crew from A to B. You have to pay the driver who now, justifiably needs more money to pay their bills, because of inflation and so on and so forth. And, add air travel into that and, renting a venue, essentially. You have to pay for that kind of thing. It's not to say, again, this isn't targeted towards Portugal, specifically, but I thought it was mentioned that it's not to say that they couldn't go to the UK and sell the tickets. You know, if the music, if someone's there to play the music, the people show up, right? But it's just along with everything you had mentioned between, you know, family things for John and Zoe, and you know, everybody's personal lives in the band. On top of all that, maybe it's not economically feasible, but also, you know, being so far away from home, if something happens, you know, you want to be close by.
Yeah, it
and that kind of thing.
Sense. Yeah, no, I get that, and that's a
So-
good example. Like, you start to break it down. No, a very good explanation, and like you said, with the example of Santigold, you got to mention, you know, like the touring even to come to, like, what's the flight from Los Angeles to London? It's over £1,000, which is like just under $1,000 basically. I know it's over that for a
Yeah.
return as well. And you think you got to do that for
Yeah.
one person? No, you got to do it for at least like 10. So then you're looking,
Yeah.
you know, really you're looking almost six figures. You've got to be making for a tour
Yeah.
to make it viable. It's just not.
I mean, at least on short notice.
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
'Cause
and
I'm
usually
checking
those
this.
things, yeah. Usually those things are on short notice. You know, a major touring act may not be buying those flights 6 months in advance when they're more affordable. You know, they may have to do it within a month. And, anyway, I thought that was worth a mention. If anybody is interested in that, check out Rick Rubin's podcast with Santa Gold. It's called Broken Circle, I believe. It's very interesting.
Oh,
At least I found it interesting. You know, I was kind of curious. I'm like, well, where are all these artists? You know, why are ticket prices so expensive? And she kind of breaks that down in a way that's easy to understand for a lot of people. And I thought it was really cool. So, sorry, I didn't
No.
mean to deviate.
No, I want to talk about live shows because it's something it's been happening. It's worth note as well. But you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, personally, for myself, I haven't been to a show this year. Has there been someone I
Yeah.
wanted to see that is live, not for the price I'm willing to pay? I mean, there are a couple of acts end of August, but I don't know. I'm sure I'll get around to them, but to each their own. Yeah, they've been doing a lot
Yeah,
of live
of course.
shows, and yeah, hopefully when inflation sorts itself out and everyone gets a little bit more adjusted to it, we can get these shows, people can come over and they can make money, everyone can have a good time. It's a win-win, but at the moment, you know, things are tight, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do, exactly. And entertainment, unfortunately, does tend to take a little bit of a hit. Not a massive one in times like these. But yeah,
Sure.
hopefully
Sure.
some improvement. Do you have any other how do I say this? Any other quotations or anything else you wanted to say about live shows or them touring or anything this year? I know you kind of said quite a bit already, but
Yeah, I would, you know, I hope they can get to all the markets that they hope to get to. I would love to see a PTM show in Australia. I think that would be a lot of fun, or even New Zealand. I've always wanted to visit China, and I know a lot of bands will do a smaller China tour, kind of thing. It just depends, you know, if they have the market there or not, if they have the fan base that's willing to show up. And yeah, wherever they go, you know, I'm always ready to go elsewhere, see the band in a new place, you know, and see what these different cities are like, or what even different countries, and what they have to offer. And you know, if the band announcing a tour somewhere else is what it takes for me to get there, then so be it.
I wonder if they'll go back to Germany, because that's where they first hit it. I'll say big in quotations,
Yes.
but that's where they first got their comeuppance. That's not the word. They first got their start.
Yeah, that-
really. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's the most-
Churchmouth tour, I believe.
Yeah, I remember watching some of the old some of the interviews and things, and then Zach saying, "Well, we only had this 38-minute album set, so we just played it twice." to fill the time, or is it? It might have been less than that. It might have been more, somewhere around there. Yeah, that kind of sounds like the sort of thing they do, and that's kind of how their evolution of jamming, like how they like extend songs and like branch from one narrative to the next, or from song to song and back and forth, which, you know, an interesting beginning, but it's a positive one. You know, I like it. I like it when they flow from one to another, and you go, oh, they're doing that. They're going from that. Oh, I like that. Enjoy that. That's different.
Yeah.
I can't hear that anywhere else. That's why you buy the
ticket. Especially now on this tour, it just gets better and better. I mean, even over those 4 shows that I was able to see, I just saw the improvement from one to the next, and some of those jams, and some of these other, what's the word I'm looking for? The way they transfer from one song to another. And what they had come up with was just so cool and impressive. I mean, when they just jam from one thing to the next, you know, just finding that fluidity, I guess.
Yeah, that fluidity.
Yeah. Anyway, I think a great example of that for folks that may be listening that have seen the band multiple times, I bring this up fairly often anytime anybody asks. There's a show you can find on YouTube, or it's in the archive, November 13th, 2006, House of Bricks, Des Moines, Iowa. It was on the Waiter You Vultures tour, and it's just in this dinky little venue, but the band rips through their set. It's probably like 50 minutes or so. If you like those jams, those transitions, that fluidity of their set, this show is so cool because it you know, it was just so early on in the Portugal The Man history, you know, coming out of Anatomy of a Ghost into Portugal The Man, right after that first record had come out. And there are some things that you'll even pick up on that they've hung on to, some of these little licks that John plays, or some of these things that Zach will do to, excuse me, you know, initiate this jam between songs. And it's really cool to see, again, almost 20 years later, that some of those things they hang on to and how they've changed them and, you know, included that into their newer songs as they come out and where it is now.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Yeah. I remembered what the phrase was. It was concept album, by the way. Halfway through you. Yeah, I did. Is that's the type of style they were going for? But yeah, they're no, excellent point.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, live shows. If you haven't already got tickets and you want to go see them, I'd say the website is the best place to go when it directly supports them, the creator, first and foremost. But yeah,
Can we actually talk about their website right now? Can we talk about PortugalTheMan.com?
The Excel spreadsheet. Yes.
The Google spreadsheet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, is that? I should be meaning to mention this. Like, what's going on there?
It's totally intentional.
Is it? Is it meant to be broken?
It is. Is it broken? Because I don't think it is.
Okay, the idea of the website is no, but you should have like your regular, like your backing image and like your headers at the top and your hyperlinks to take you to other pages, and you go on there, you click one button and you go to this like Google spreadsheet thing with "Come see us live" and a PNG of Tankdog somewhere on the screen. I'm like, what is it? Did they just stop paying for the website or something? No. You obviously know more than I do, so...
Look, all I'm saying is right before the website changed to what it currently is,
right,
I was sent a text.
Oh.
It said, what do you think of this? And it gave me a link, and I went to check it out. I'm like, okay, this looks cool, this looks good. I thought it was a rough draft, and then they put it live. And it's just stayed that way. And then... That's the joke, right?
Oh,
I don't know.
God.
It's not a joke, though. It's serious. That's totally functional, though.
Is it? Right, I haven't been on it I have not been on it in a little while, so I'm gonna go check it up out after this recording, and just see if I can go see, where they're playing next, their links to their socials and all that. It should all be on there. Because really, what more do you need than that? To be honest, like a link tree and we're playing here. Okay.
I mean, look, you got their Instagram, their YouTube, their TikTok, their OnlyFans. You have gamer tag. You have SoundCloud.
Nice.
Did I mention OnlyFans?
Yeah, I'm following I'm following Jason on there. He's drumming based.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So funny. I wish they would just post on it. Anyway.
Yeah, they do actually. Wait, they actually do have an OnlyFans as a joke. Right?
I don't know. Is it a joke or is it serious?
I don't know. They're showing their ass on Instagram, so why pay for it,
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not? By the way, this is a sidebar. Not sidebar, but tangent. And they're taking shots. They're taking shots in their ass. And then John's like, B12. And you see like okay. Again,
you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta stay healthy, Mark.
I know, but I've already seen Zach's ass more than once. It's a long story. I know he fell down the stairs, but did he really? I could have been eating lunch, all right. I could have been eating. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see it. But fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. You get what you pay for.
Oh, the admission was free, and well, it was a show, all right. Yeah. Anyway, enough about arse. Yeah. I've kind of been through the main topics that I wanted to talk about, but we really have kind of skipped over Chris Black Changed My Life. And I know I did a big deep dive on it with Josh in the past episode, up on YouTube, Google, Spotify, or whoever's. Yep. What do you think of it? What do you think of it, Chris? You've been a fan for a long, long time, longer than most, I'd say. Hopefully, you're pretty dedicated. What do you think? How are you enjoying Chris Black Changed My Life?
I love this record. It is phenomenal in so many ways, and excuse me, between getting a couple opportunities, to hear some of the songs early, whether that be via Discord or, XYZ situation, so on and so forth.
If you're Atlantic Records, we definitely didn't, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, of course not. No.
No.
That didn't happen. But, it could have happened. So, plausible deniability. Anyway, between all that, I had heard most of the record before it had come out. I believe 9 out of the 11 songs
Ooh.
I had heard prior to its formal release, but I didn't listen in order. I knew it was going to be a concept record. I had, read that online. I had told that it would be, and I kind of just wanted to take that in as a whole as best I could. There were a lot of times that I couldn't resist listening to the songs. And, some of my favorite records of all time are concept records. Songs for the Deaf, Queens of the Stone Age. It's phenomenal. If you haven't listened, go listen. It's crazy.
Okay.
Anyway, when the record came out, I was so eager to listen to it. Somebody
leaked it 4 days early.
Correct,
It started playing. I couldn't do anything. It started playing, and I was like, I'm hearing noise. And, well, I accidentally heard the whole thing on, 3 days before.
Correct, yes. Somehow, some way, that record was made available publicly. And, as Mark said, 3, 4, 5, 6 days early, whatever it was. Who could tell? Who knows how that happened? But I was so excited to sit down and listen, full undivided attention. is what I gave to it, and it's great. I just I don't even I don't know what to say beyond that. Does it go up there as favorite record? I don't know, but it's pretty much there. I mean, each one is a favorite for a different reason. They're all so different from each other, but as a full, cohesive, continual piece of music, it's absolutely phenomenal, and I'm not tired of it. I don't think I'll get tired of it. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. It's not just a great summer record. You can listen to it on a rainy day. You can listen to it by yourself in your bedroom. You can go out for a run and listen to it. It's great. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I share a very same sentiment. I was feeling positive about it pre-release, when we're getting the tracks, and then when it was put together, when we had the full track list, when it was in order, when we got the official version on June 23rd, 2023, I enjoyed it a bit more than just hearing every track individually, obviously. But we're about
Agreed.
We're about 6 weeks out from there now, and I still think about it from time. I'll be just doing something. I'll be thinking about lyrics and stuff. I'm they have put a lot of thought. Production level, as I mentioned before, incredibly high. They've spent a lot of time. John's done a lot of tinkering. They've worked a lot behind the scenes to get this to a place where there isn't a song you go, "Ooh, this bit doesn't sound a bit," or "This bit, I'm not too sure." No, it's there production wise. Concept album, brilliant. I love the flow from Heavy Games to Grim Generation, from Times of Fantasy to Doubt. Even from Ghost Town to Times of Fantasy, that get that intermittent bit where you kind of hear the memory, as Josh mentioned it on the last podcast, this memory of Chris Black, and then it goes straight into Times of Fantasy. There's a cold break, a cold stop, and it goes into it. But in the moment, you're just thinking, what is this? Why are we in a saloon? Why are we hearing someone announce someone's at a bingo? But no, it's a show, and these are the memories of Chris Black, and this is the experience. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I heard Anxiety Clarity, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? This is so wacky. This is so wild. It's just 3 songs in one. It's their maddest thing they've done.
Okay, so I've got something for everybody listening. For those that may not have the physical format of the record, there's an explanation comes in the booklet, and I believe the deluxe version, I'm not sure if it comes in the standard as well, but it explains what each side of the record is, and I just wanted to read it off. I found it so interesting and so cool. I'm looking through it right now. Heavily suggest anyone that's considering buying this to go buy the physical in any way, shape, or form you want, because it is so cool. Maybe it's on the record prop. Here it is. Okay. Side A, Chris Black Changed My Life, is an album talking about the cultural and personal ideas that can lead to either a person's or society's spiritual bankruptcy and ultimate collapse. The album is an LP with 2 sides, A and B. The first half describes being born into a materialistic culture that is starved for meaning and fundamentally unfulfilled. This part of the album consists of the following tracks, and it lists Heavy Games down to Ghost Town. You flip it over. The second half of the album consists of individual songs about different experiences and ideas that lead an individual down one of 2 paths. Either A, down the path of madness, or B, further down a path of introspection. The path of introspection is lonelier and more confusing, but does provide a glimmer of some kind of intuitive redemption. And then it says these songs are Times of Fantasy, Doubt, Plastic Island, Champ, Anxiety, Clarity. The philosophical ideas in the second half of the album are sort of a madness in their own right. There are also the root causes to the problem mentioned in the first half of the album that focuses on living an unfulfilled life. The quote-unquote Chris Black character is a tribute to the spirit and symbols in our lives that allow us to learn and grow from our personal struggles as well and our cultural and ancestral circumstances. Chris Black is a troublemaker, but also a sage. He is the mercurial glimmer, quote-unquote, in the dark space of intuition, disrupting our cultural and ancestral restrictions. We are able to turn to such trickster spirits in order to unshackle ourselves. In doing so, we, in turn, learn and grow from the parameters of the restrictions that at one time held us back. What were once the chains and suffering that held us back eventually became our own personal aesthetics and narrative container through which we return our redemptive art to the world. That,
Wow.
when I first,
Oh, yeah.
I know that was a lot. I'm sorry that was a mouthful, but
Oh, no, that was
it-
brilliant. Wow.
I feel it's really important because, I mean, obviously they included it, you know, on the packaging of the record itself, and I think that comes on the sleeve of every record. But when I read that, you know, I listened the first time. I was sent this special box set thing, and I pulled the record out and I read that, and I listened back again, and it just had a lot more meaning than it did initially. You know, for me at least, listening to a record for the first time is more of a musical listen than it is a lyrical. You know, I tend to focus on the music more, and then go back again and try and focus on the lyrics, and then, you know, both at the same time, and see how I feel. But after reading that, it just it's how do I put it? I don't know. It's I think it's great that they were willing to share that vulnerability with everyone and allow that from, you know, a group of people who, not to say they've been secretive in the past, but you know, who have expressed their anxieties and occasional hesitations and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love the way that it's broken down into how you said the first part, the materialistic world in the first part, and then the second part is more the introspective deep dive or introspective view. There's a lot there. That's very deep, by the way. Those descriptions, they were very deep, very insightful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost wasn't expecting that level, to be honest. I was kind of expecting, yeah, you know, we had some collabs and this. No, this shit is just deep. This is hard hitting, and even when you listen to like Grim Generation and Dummy, you kind of get the idea of that kind of doomed world, as I'll call it. You know, we'll do our annual podcast mention of Doomin' and Gloomin'. I wonder if these ideas and concepts have come. He's been playing around with it. I mean, life has been different since 2016. We just have to say it as it is. For maybe 2012, it's been a different world. It's just been a strange. You know, it's you know, it's not been smooth sailing for everyone. I'll just say that. And
Sure. Yeah.
I
Constantly evolving landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As an overall, I'm. It's kind of grown on me more, the more I think about it. And I haven't overdone. I haven't listened to it like 6 times in a day and been like, oh yeah, I'm loving this. I've been like pacing myself because I'm like, I want to enjoy this.
Yeah, it can be easy to put a record on repeat and just kind of grow numb to it in a way. But there's just the production and, you know, the instrumentation and the lyrics. It's kind of a lot. Not to say it's sensory overload, but it's at least for me, listening to it, it makes me want to take it in and think about it, as opposed to just having it on in the background.
Yeah, I sit down. Sorry, I sit down to listen to it. It's 35 minutes of of just you go on a journey. You go on a journey where you start off thinking, oh yeah, we're in for a fun ride, but actually it's a deep dark look at yourself. And I get a little bit emotional towards the end, I have to be honest. Knowing what we know now about knowing what we know about the band now and their journey over the past 5+ years kind of hits a bit more, kind of hits a bit harder as well, to be honest, Chris. And
Yeah, I agree. It's
powerful. It's I know I kind of gave it like a rating of like, this is great, almost excellent, but I'm getting close to that excellent. I think this is probably, I don't want to say it's their best work because it's still very early on, but man, they've convinced.
I mean,
they've turned this evil fans.
To be fair, to be fair, I mean, everybody listening, including yourself, knows that Church Mouth is their best record. And if you say otherwise, you're just lying. So, no, but
you had to get that in. There we go.
I do, yeah. You know.
Yeah, big fan. No problem at all. But
let me ask you this: what are your, if you had to pick two tracks from the new record, what would your top two be, and why?
I was about to ask you the same thing. Oh,
great.
What is our favourite and what my top two? Oh, I think Grim Generation for me is the one I'm going to keep coming back to, and I always like to have Heavy Games lead into it. Maybe because when we had that Heavy Games intro video, it kind of tapered into that kind of very early bit of Grim Generation. It always got me excited, like, I wonder what this is about. And now, obviously, hindsight 2020, we know that's leading into that. Little tease.
Yeah. Nice. Look, can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
What did you think? Have you listened to the first Heavy Games?
Yes, the shout out to The Walking Dead. If you don't already know, this is the Walking Dead one. Yeah, it's kind of acoustic, is the way I kind of remember it. It's been a little while. It came out in 2014, I believe, 2013, around that time. But yeah,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you compare the two at all? Do you make any type of connection between those two songs?
I mean, normally when I'm looking at them, I'm looking at the title, so there is a little bit of comparison going on there, but I don't think so. It's almost like Heavy Games 2 is like the happy ending to Heavy Games. It's kind of how I see it. I could be a little bit off there, but not a massive. Not a massive comparison.
I mean, it's all open to perception. So I just like asking. When I saw Heavy Games 2, I was very excited. That first Heavy Games is, or has been, and will probably continue to be, one of my favorite. I mean, I have so many of the band songs that are my favorites, but that one's definitely up there. It's very dark.
Yes, yeah, it is actually.
Musically and lyrically. So seeing Heavy Games 2, I was very excited, and then hearing it, to me, it felt, apart from making that association just based on the title, it felt very kind of like digging out of that I don't want to say like that hole, but digging out of that dark place into something more optimistic.
Yeah, that's
and then and just kind of not to put a ridiculous amount of meaning to it, but
go on.
Digging yourself out of that hole, finding your path, and then going right into Grim Generation, which musically is a very upbeat and positive kind of
mostly
light at the end of the tunnel sort of feeling. Yeah,
absolutely. But to answer you said 2 tracks. I mean, I kind of want to say Dummy, but I'm kind of thinking Doubt. I don't know, I feel like Doubt is punchy. It's like, ooh, needed that today. Needed to hear that, Dummy's
Yeah,
one I can send to
my-
friends who aren't as bigger fans, who aren't like hardcore, and be like, this is Feel It Still 2. There you go. Do we want?
Yeah. Doubt is I believe Doubt was the first song I heard long before the record had come out. And I was shown the music video for it. Side note, for anybody listening, the music video for Doubt is phenomenal.
Oh.
It had me cracking up the first time I watched it. There's just something that happens in the background that came out of nowhere. It's very apparent, and I thought it was so funny, and I love it. So.
You can't just whoa! You can't just drop that bombshell. So
I can throw that out there.
Okay, so I have another question. Have you seen the rest of the videos then? Or some of them?
I mean, obviously, I've seen the ones in public.
Okay.
Hold on, let me think. No, I did not go to the video showing in Portland. I didn't have time. Yeah, all I've seen is the Doubt video and obviously the ones that are already on YouTube.
Yes.
But this video, just a second.
Yeah, no problem at all. Just a sidebar, we're talking. How good is that dummy lyric video? I love that.
Oh, it's so good.
That's brilliant.
I love it.
The John calendar of all like the bikini girls. That may or may not be a thumbnail in the future. I'm just saying, just for clickbait. Just to see people be like, oh, wait, what? I've got
the only other thing I will say about the Doubt video is that it was shot by Michael Reagan.
Oh, okay.
Who has shot some of the band's other videos. I believe Noise Pollution, Purple, Yellow, Red, and Blue. And I think the Feel It Still video was him as well. I could be mistaken. So, things to look forward to.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what is the key factor from all three of those. I was thinking they're all at night, but I'm like, well, Noise Pollution kind of is during the day, especially when John's doing push-ups in the lake, as you do.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just, I love his style of videography and his editing and, some of these angles he goes for and these shots that he makes are just excellent, in my opinion. I love seeing, a final piece of his work, basically.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's your, sorry, I don't know if I asked you, what was your favourite track of the album? And why?
Yeah, my favorite two, I'm very concrete in it, in that Doubt is right up there, side by side with Summer of Love.
Oh, Summer of Love, okay.
That song is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I love that it's, it's the end of, there's Ghost Town, the end of the A side. Whatever, it's right there at the end of the A side.
Ghost Town is
and okay, and it's just groovy. It's a hit.
Yes.
It puts me in a really good mood, and I just want to dance to it. And I have, and I will continue to do so. And in a way, it's just kind of like the yin and the yang. I feel like the Summer of Love is kind of the opposite of Doubt.
Yeah.
It's just and dark to light and from A to Z, that kind of thing.
I'm trying to think if they've done anything similar to it in the past. I'm thinking maybe Lovers in Love. But even that's
Summer.
more like... Sorry?
Anything similar to Summer of Love?
Yeah, I'm trying to think... But even Lovers in Love is just so different, like the bongos and... That's not even close, actually. It just has love in the title, Mark. You just read the text and it's gone, drawn to a conclusion. Anyway.
I feel it's kind of like, sort of live in the moment-ish.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
A little bit.
That's an upbeat. Yeah.
Yeah, little bit tidal wave, kind of mixed with like So Young, just in that sort of
just half of
that sort of area, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, just half of Woodstock.
Yeah.
That's all.
Summer of Love and then Doubt. So you're the yin and the yang of this mood or that mood. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, not to say like it's not that I don't like any of the other tracks. Like I love the whole record. It's great. There was one thing that threw me off a little bit.
Do tell.
On the first listen, which was I think it's Times of Fantasy with the auto tune.
Yes.
When John when he's saying "Come back to me."
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought that was so strange.
Yeah.
And it was just really unexpected. It's not that I didn't like it. It just you know, I had the track listing in front of me and I'm like, well, what's this song and how are they going to lead it into Doubt, which I already know. And it just didn't seem initially like Fantasy was going to complement Doubt. And then, you know, you get that transition and you hear that little whisper, Doubt, and then it goes right into it. And I thought I was like, oh, well, I'm just ignorant.
I was talking about this with Josh. I was like, is this the first time they've used auto-tune to that level on an album? Like,
I believe so.
Yeah. But again, with this album,
I think so.
It's such a, I'll use the word smorgasbord of like different kind of sounds and samples and, or maybe not samples, but like it's a sandbox of sound. There's so many, like every song sounds different. And
I don't know.
Let's try auto-tune. Let's try saxophone. Let's try, you know, just keyboard. Let's try just guitar. You know, they play around with it.
Yeah. I think Easy Tiger actually may have been the first.
Oh, that's a good pop.
Really prominent. I don't know if that was auto-tune, if that was a vocal effect. Excuse me, if that was like a post-process effect or how they did that.
I wonder who would be able to tell us about this. I'm sure we'll find out.
I wonder. I wonder who could tell us about that.
I wonder. Next time there's a Q&A, I'll ask about the auto-tune. I don't think it sounds bad. Normally I'm like, oh, they're using that. But actually I'm like, you know what? It's commonplace now. It's fine. I think it sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's it can be done horribly. But I don't think this is one of those cases, at least in my opinion. Someone else may have a different thought on you know how that was used. Yeah.
And not to get a bit more grim, but have you got any? What is your probably least favorite of the 11-track album, if you have one? I know you said you were kind of.
At first, it was Plastic Island.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just that one and Times of Fantasy were the only two, or maybe it was Thunderdome. Did I hear Plastic Island?
That did get.
I'm trying to remember.
That got a pre-release not too long before the album came out, so.
Okay, then I did listen to that, and so it was probably Thunderdome and Times of Fantasy were the two that I didn't hear.
Thunderdome got a pre-release as well. I can't remember. Two of them got a release within a week of each other, and it really threw me off because it was like, oh, are they just doing another one because they can do another one before the album, or I don't know.
Yeah, for me at least, I think Plastic Island was
the weakest of their
again, not to
offering.
Yeah, not to say I didn't like it. It just didn't really resonate with me much until I saw it live the first time. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now I can dig this.
Yeah, I'm with that.
What about you?
I love the saxophone, but for me, Champ, it just isn't hitting.
Really?
Yeah, it just.
Wow.
The first time I heard it, I was like, okay, this is alright. I don't mind this. And the more I'm hearing about it, it just feels. I don't know. I mentioned. I went into it a little bit more deeper. I think the collab. It's not a bad collab, but I think some of the lyrics, they're a little tame. They're a little, but maybe by the numbers, if you want to say that. It doesn't really stand out. That and Plastic Island. I actually quite like Plastic Island, but it feels a touch out of place for the more, I'll call it the more introspective half of the album. It feels very like, oh, when we'll put this goes here. Like, it doesn't really, I don't know. The indigenous part is it's great. Say your piece, your artist. I completely understand that. But as I've mentioned before, and I use the example of Tame Impala, right?
Yeah.
They on his last album he has a song called Glimmer, where it's like a podcast recording for the first bit, and he has another track where it's his wife on the phone. I'm like, that's great, that's clever, I like what you've done with that, you've been experimental, but on the 13th listen, I'm getting a little tired of hearing it. Just a little bit. And with the indigenous speech, hey, absolutely, I know they're for that. I know that absolutely. I learned that firsthand when I came up with the topic in the Reddit, being like, who's the 4 presidents or the Mount Rushmore, and a couple of people in the comments were like, they'd never do anything like the Mount Rushmore. They're very pro Native American. I was like, okay, I didn't know. Me being uneducated, that's basically all that was. But for me, that part, the ending is brilliant. That like last 15 seconds, the like heavy guitars, that bit's great. But the rest of the track, I'm like, I might be getting confused. Actually, no, am I right? Yeah, I am thinking of the right song now. It's been a
Yeah,
day
you
or
are.
two.
You are.
Yeah,
It's almost like that dreamscape
that's it. Yes,
kind of ending. Yeah, yeah. With Edgar Winter on it. Yeah, it's like 3 different songs in one.
Yeah,
And I know that's not for everybody. I kind of like it. I like it a lot more so in the whole as a concept record.
yeah.
Again, to reference that Queens of the Stone Age record, which is phenomenal. There are a few bits throughout where it's just kind of like, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Like I get this what's happening, but I guess to me that's it. It speaks to a deeper level of immersion, almost, and especially with that being the second to last track. You've experienced this record up to this point, and then the end of Champ, with the with the sort of the punk fill with the band speaking about indigenous rights, and then this crazy mix of synths and just sounds and this crazy sax. It's really jumbling in a way. It can be very mentally, I don't want to say deterrent, but it can like put you in a different place. And to me, it's really nice because it goes into the soft intro of Anxiety Clarity. And you're just to me, it like I'm left at this like calm place where I feel very comfortable after being exposed to like all of this all these different emotions and these feelings about what we as people are experiencing.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I kind of get where you're going with that. I might be getting confused with one of the other endings. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm at the point where I am starting to skip it, unfortunately. But you know what?
Yeah.
1 out of 10, out of 11, I'll take it. That's not. I think that's a. It could have been a lot more less favourable in my opinion, but I really overall really enjoyed this album. So one song where I'm like, maybe in the future, in hindsight, maybe I'll come back and be like, actually, you know what? I like this. This fits. But at the moment, I'm like, I'm not too in love with it. Which compared to Woodstock with, I hate to blast Keep On Again, but it really wasn't my sort of thing. So
Oh, really?
one from there's just something about the I probably can't.
I liked Keep On a lot.
I can't really go into too much of the description for YouTube and stuff about the video of it because I'll get demonetized. But even though I already am, but it made me feel a little uncomfortable, and I kind of was like, I don't know. I don't know. Another one that's just not for me, and again, I haven't actually listened in a while, so I can't actually quite remember how it sounded, to be honest. No, that sounds bad, but
Yeah. I remember first on my first listen to Woodstock. Well, my first listen to Woodstock, I didn't like it. That's
Ooh.
a story for another day. But
oh, we've got time.
very, very, very quickly grew on me. But Easy Tiger and Tidal Wave just deterred me so much.
Oh, really?
Initially, it took me a very long time to warm up to either of those. So what I'm getting at is that I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe it will change for you in the future, maybe it won't.
Yeah. Overall, what's your best moment of the album? Like one moment where you're like, oh yeah, that's my favourite. One bit you're like jamming the hardest or head bopping or whatever. Head bumping.
Honestly, that's a tough thing. On first listen, it was that Times of Fantasy to Doubt, you know, that whisper, and then boom, 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 boom with the keys. However, after seeing it live and just being, you know, a part of that experience, like, I think going into the chorus in Ghost Town just makes me, like, turn to a noodle.
Oh, really?
It's
okay.
Yeah, it's really cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed dancing along to that and
Ghost
doing my
Town's
thing.
grown on me. I have to be honest. It's kind of it was kind of middling, and I'm like, okay, I get this a little bit more, especially when I've heard other people's opinions, and it's kind of increased clarity on the situation, and I can appreciate it a bit more actually now, seeing other people's point of views. I get it, and I'm like, actually, I get this. I've had my mind changed on it.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't particularly keen on the production of it at first, but on second listen, I went back through and I was like, oh, this is actually phenomenal.
Yeah, and also
wow.
the songs come so hard and fast where you could put this on, you blink, you're on track 4, you're on dummy already.
Yeah,
it's that quick, and you're like, wow. So it's a roller coaster that's going quick, and you got to jump on. There's a lyric somewhere in the album about enjoy the ride as well, but only a good podcast host would know that, but not me. Jump on in and enjoy the ride.
Practice makes perfect.
It's in Grim Generation. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, favourite songs, least favourite, we did, best moment. Anything overall? Want to cap off with Chris Black, Changed My Life? Any opinion?
I wanted to know, apart from the record itself, I very much appreciate and am fully in support of how it's being marketed. And when I say that, not just in a traditional sense, like, oh, billboards and magazine, whatever. I mean, at the shows, they're giving away blank Changed My Life t-shirts.
Yes.
That's what they're shooting out in the t-shirt cannons. They have them for sale as well, but like at Edgefield, they were just giving those out to so many people, and they had like signs that changed my life. They had the Change My Life stickers, and not just for like a participant or for like is participatory a word?
Participant is, yeah, you're fine. I know what you
mean. Anyway, you know what I mean. I love that, not everybody is outspoken as someone else. And just having this thing, whether it's the sign, the sticker, the t-shirt, or just the visual representation in front of you, with the "You All Changed My Life" on the stage at some of these shows, it's making people think like, who am I appreciative of in my own personal life? Whether it's these people that are literally in front of me right now that are playing music, or if it's someone that's no longer with them. And it's all just kind of, it's all just revolving around like love as a whole, which, not to go super deep into that, is it's like the most important thing, and I love that they're using their voice to promote, maybe not that mindset, but that ideal, or promote that comfort in expressing that externally.
Yeah, it's how they feel about
For
Chris
others.
Black. So they're
Yeah, it's how they feel about Chris Black. It's how they feel about each other. It's how they feel about Francis. It's how they feel about their friends and their family, and these people that aren't, biologically their family, but these people that are in front of them, that are quote unquote family, the fans that, resonate with what they do. I think about it often, and I think it's just a really cool thing, and that they really hit the mark, and it just has a lot of importance
yeah.
to me and other people I've talked to about it.
Also, well
Yeah.
said. Yeah, you could buy the T-shirts online as well, can't you? You've got the Chris Black Change My Life, and then obviously you're saying they're handing out the ones for like the blank space. I've seen them like the little like stickers or whatever. You can like fill it in.
Yeah. They have those. You can buy those on the website. You can buy the Francis shirt. You can buy the one that says Chris Black. You can buy the blank one.
Yeah, if you can navigate the website.
Well, this is the Mercado website, so
it's a bit different. No, that's fair. That's fair.
it has a reasonable layout. I have another question for you,
Oh yeah. Okay.
somewhat pertaining to the record.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Tankdog? Who is Tankdog? Who is Tankdog to you?
Tankdog is the mischievous side of John's brain, portrayed in cartoon fashion. It's
Beautiful.
It's, I think that's kind of how I see it. Is like,
Wow.
it's. Oh man, I'd love to go like push that sign over, or like go throw TP over someone's house or something like that. But I shouldn't because I'm an adult. It's that ideal of being young and free, and I mean, we've at the moment in time of recording, only Dummy is the only video we've seen with Tankdog, and I can imagine that some of the other ones are going to be quite interesting, and maybe a little less zany, I'd say, than Dummy. I don't know. That's a pretty wacky video, a pretty fun one. Interesting to see what they do. But that's what Tankdog is to me, and we're talking about the origin of it, like being the little. It was on a T-shirt maybe like 5 years ago, around post-Woodstock,
Yeah.
and it's kind of evolved into this character. So we've seen the whole evolution of it. We've seen the birth and the rise of Tankdog.
Yeah.
But that's a
Yeah, I love that. I hadn't thought about that in relation to John specifically. And I love that you said that, because I've always perceived him kind of as at first I was like, okay, well, this is an old band member, his artwork. It's like, let's just kind of include him, but to see it so prominent on all the packaging and on the website and like during the show is it's cool, because it kind of goes into that, like, to me it goes into that be more open if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And just kind of like let yourself loose and let people know what you believe and what you think is important. And I always thought of all these different characters as all these different people and just expressing themselves in their own way. But now, when I'm actively looking at the website right now as I'm speaking, and all these different Tankdogs, I'm like, oh, this is John just being like a dickhead, like a brat. It's
John,
so great.
Sorry if you're offended. No, yeah, with love, obviously. No, it's a valid point as well. Again, there are no wrong answers with Tankdog. Probably somewhere in the middle, I reckon.
Yeah,
Also,
we are all Tankdog.
Yeah, we're all. Yeah. Well, you've been in longer than I have, so. But yeah, Tankdog.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, definitely never.
Yeah.
A little inside story. If there's nothing else to, I think we did a good deep dive, or a mini deep dive onto Chris Black. I kind of want to get your opinion on it, just to get, kind of get a vibe check. Kind of get a vibe check on where you are with it, because again, I'm still enjoying it. Just
make sure I have the right opinions, right?
Oh no. There's no wrong opinions. I mean, if someone comes on here and categorically says this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, I don't get this, I'll challenge them on it. But if they, it's their opinion. But hey, from the couple of reviews that people have put in the Reddit and the Discord, it seems to be this is kind of more favourable.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
if Mr. Fantano has done a review. I know he's done past ones, and John said, I kind of knew he didn't like this or he wouldn't like this, but I'd be interested to see where he'd fall on this one or where the reviewers would fall.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see. Again, to be honest, at the end of the day, I don't care, but it'd be good to see them get a little bit more praise from someone who hasn't got their name in their tag on everything on the internet, so to say. But my opinion, it's a bit like I can't really put the medal on them, to be honest. That's a bit,
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But yeah, good stuff. Chris Black. Superb. I applaud. But right,
Yeah.
we're coming up to the end of the show now, or end of the recording, Chris, but you're not quite out of the woods yet. I think you're
I know.
coming.
I'm excited for this next part. Yeah.
PTM Song Quiz.
This is going to be a Jeopardy warm-up
Yeah.
question here.
This is
Here we go.
Here we go. Right. So if you're not familiar, which hopefully you are now, Chris has got 10 questions, yes or no questions to guess one song from their entire discography, which with every album release is getting even larger. So good luck. Let me just check to see what I've got here. Yep. I'm all good to go. If you're ready, just start us off with your first yes or no question, and best of luck. Hopefully you get it.
Is this song on one of the studio albums?
Yes.
Copy.
Off to a good start.
Okay. Did this song come out before or after 2010?
Before. Sorry, I was trying to argue.
Before. It's okay. Before 2010. Okay. Let's see. So if it was before, like, you don't have to answer this, but if it's before 2010, that means before American Ghetto, correct?
Before the year 2010
Yeah.
would be
End
December
of 2009.
31st, 2009.
Got it. Okay.
That's
Okay.
kind of how
Okay.
I'm reading that. That's kind of why I
Let's see. Okay. Is this song on Satanic Satanist?
It is not.
Is it on Censored Colors?
It is not.
Is it on Churchmouth?
It is. It is a Churchmouth song.
Ooh,
You've had
my
5
favorite. Okay.
questions. You've got 4 and a guess remaining.
Ooh.
Asking the album was smart. Because, I'm going to put
Yeah.
out that EP one day, and so it's going to catch someone. It's going to catch someone. They're going to David song.
Damn. Let's see. Is this song... How can I round this down? That's not one of my questions. Don't answer that, I swear to God, Mark.
No, don't worry. Duration, placing,
Yes.
video.
Is... Video? Oh, video. Okay, you might be giving something away here, friend. Is it Sun Brother?
It is not Sun Brother.
Oh. I thought you may have picked that one just because it was a special little thing.
I do like Sun Brother. And the extended version, if you haven't heard already. Pretty good.
Yes, absolutely. Very good. Is it... I'm just going to take a guess. Is it Bellies Are Full?
It is not Bellies Are Full. You've got 2 questions.
I know.
Yeah, you've got 2 questions.
Is this... Okay. Is this song on the first half or the second half of the record? Given that there are 12 songs on the record.
Do you want to... Okay. It's on the first. It's not a yes or no. I say yes or no, but okay, yeah, you give me a yes or no. It's on the first half.
Okay. All right. I know. Sorry, I'm a little shady when it comes to
Oh,
this.
no worries.
Yeah.
It's church
Yeah.
mouth. It's been a long time.
Okay. Okay. And those first 6 songs, is it Sugar Cinnamon?
We have a winner. You got it. Sugar
What?
Cinnamon.
No
Church
way.
mouth.
No
Track
way I
number
got that.
2.
Liar.
Congratulations. I'm
You
not. No, you
liar.
got it right. With a question to spare. Well done.
Wow.
The fans.
Did you know? Did you know that Churchmouth came out 4 days earlier in Europe than it did in the US and the UK?
Really? Really? Oh, those Germans getting that early exclusive. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, loving
Yeah.
it. Wow. I had no idea actually. That's a nice little, almost a Jeopardy question.
Yes.
No, don't use that now. But damn it.
It can't be now.
Ah.
I can throw you some Jeopardy stuff. I can
Oh,
give
we
you
can't if you're
some.
going to be a guest on it. We need to. Can't have inside into
Well,
it.
we can do different. Again, I can give you a bunch of random facts, and you can choose whether or not you want to use them. And
I'm
if
not
I
hosting.
know a
I'm
bunch
not-
of these answers,
I'm not the one hosting.
Okay.
I'm just. Hey,
okay.
Wrap this up. Excellent. Well done. I thought I'd throw a church mouth. I haven't done a church mouth question on here actually, because Josh
Great.
asked last time. He was like, "Oh, have you done one for every album?" I'm like, well, I think I missed off church mouth, so I thought I'd throw that in there. And I thought, I know you're a fan. I'm like, he's not gonna think it's gonna be too close to home, but you narrowed it down really well, and then you just started taking punts in the dark, and it paid off. So good job with that.
I mean, thank you. I also use some cheat codes. I didn't always ask yes or no questions, so you know.
This or that, yeah. If you asked, is it on the first half? It's the same thing, you know. So
Okay. Yeah.
I would have been fine with it. But anyway, thank you for coming on this evening.
Yeah. Thank you. Always love talking with you. So much fun.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, and I'm sure we'll have you on the channel in the near future as well. Future content should be fun. Just trying to create fun stuff, you know. It's the news a little light at the moment. There's been a couple of like interviews and stuff, but I can save that for a rainy day if I have to. But just to like catch up and talk about Chris Black needs to be done really.
Yeah.
Can't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
So thank you again for coming on such short notice. Excellent, very knowledgeable guest. The hosts PTM 10 question streak. A couple of guests have been struggling recently, so it's been good to get a W for one of the fans, you know. I'm gonna make it harder. I'm gonna have to whip out the Endangered song or Heavy Games Part 1.
Yeah. You're going to have to go a bit deeper than that. You're talking to the encyclopedia, remember. I put the archive together.
Yeah, you did indeed. But yeah, if you want to like promote anything, do anything like now, say anything to the fans, the floor is all yours.
I just would like to say once again that I love meeting people from the online community. It's very gratifying, and once again, great putting a name to a face and, you know, just talking about, you know, common interests with someone who's from a completely different walk of life, or, you know, yeah, who just, I don't know. That's really all I got. So if you're ever at a show and, you know, I said you could come find me, but I'm kind of nondescript. Sorry about that. You know, I had all these pins that I gave away at these shows, and if you didn't find me, I'm very sorry, but they will be available soon.
Maybe dressed as
Of
Tankdog.
which, hey, look, Tankdog is everybody,
Yeah, he
and
is.
nobody is Tankdog. So his or her or their identity shall remain anonymous, and you know, anybody can be Tankdog whenever they want.
No, valid point.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
Excellent. No, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening. And yeah, we'll have more guests on, more content. Just keep rocking in 2023. Thanks, guys, for listening. Cheers. Have a good one.